What's the old saying? The reason old cyclists don't ride fast anymore is because they don't ride fast anymore.
So sometimes if you want to find out about training methods and what to do if you're aging, one of the best ways to do it is find someone who is already doing it and staying fit. So today I'm going to be chatting to a friend of mine, Eamonn Deane, who's a local legend round where I live and probably further afield too. He's been riding most of his life and he certainly knows how to keep fit and stay fast when you're older. I hope you enjoy the video. Sorry about some of the quality. It's never great filming in really poor light conditions like today, but we'll see what we can do. So let's go over and meet Eamonn. So as a, I don't know if you're, well you are, we're all veterans, aren't we?
Oh, I certainly am, yeah. In terms of...
a veteran cyclist.
I guess in terms of how you classify it for racing, but it's 40, isn't it? Once you turn 40, you were a vet.
Yeah. But how did you actually get into sport in the first place? Or you were a triathlete to start off with, weren't you?
Yeah. Saw triathlon on the telly, which was unusual back in the 80s. Thought I could do that.
Had you done much sort of sporty stuff before, or was that?
No, I hadn't really. I'd played football at school, which was all I ever wanted to do. And then briefly Sunday league, Saturday league, till about 18. And then not really. Fortunately, I just had a natural fitness. I had a bit of endurance. Luckily stayed away from smoking as a teenager and just sort of was drawn to it. Like I said, it's in the...
So you were about 18 when you started doing...
No, I was about 18 when I started drinking.
Oh.
Right, yeah.
When did you start like properly doing it seriously?
I was early 80s, David, probably. A bit of the jogging boom in the 80s. I started to run 83, late 82, 83. Fancied doing a few weights, not heavy weights, weightlifting, more weight training, circuit type stuff, and had some weights at home and used them, but was always quite diligent. I like the process of training, which certainly helped me because I like the discipline of doing it.
That's one thing I find sort of fairly easy to do, is just sort of stick to a routine and get into the training side of things.
Certainly that, like you said, the routine makes it easy.
What sort of level did you get to then?
I think I can sum up my sporting career, if you want to call it that, as good but not quite good enough. I wanted, like all of us, I wanted to be better than I was.
Yeah, I still find that now, and it's sort of like...
I think that's a good trait.
But you're not gonna... It's very hard to improve at our age.
No,
or even stay still, I think.
I think it is about treading water, and I think at our age you can stay still. I think, sad, depressing though it is, we are eventually fighting the inevitable.
Yeah, but you've done amazingly to, like, even the Saturday chain gang, to be able to stay on that and not get dropped, quite an achievement really for someone in their 60s.
Yeah, that's nice of you to say.
So what is your sort of secret to being able to do that? Because often you're away from riding for a few weeks at a time with the work you've been doing for BC, but then you can come back and after a week or two of secret training you can still boss it on the chain gang.
I don't know, secret training. I think, yes, you've got to work hard. Yes, you've got to get on with it. Yes, you have to suck up the not so good days, in training, the miles where it feels harder than it should feel. I think you need to do those. If you're at a certain level of fitness, you can miss a couple of weeks, and I think most of the fitness loss or performance loss is probably in our heads.
Right, yeah.
It might feel a bit uncomfortable. Your legs have lost a little bit of the souplesse that they build up, but I think you can dig in and survive once you're getting past 3 weeks. You're fine on your own if you're with someone who hasn't had a break.
Well, yeah, that's when you notice
it's hard,
I guess.
But it quickly comes back again if you're at a certain condition in the first place.
I guess one of the keys to it then is just keeping it up, as in keeping your fitness, going as much as you can and not letting it drop off too much.
And I think more and more, that's more and more important as we mature, shall we say. I feel better if I'm doing it regularly. I may be guilty of doing too much. All endurance athletes are guilty of that. I think there's a feeling to just grab a little bit more, and maybe it's not always the right decision. I feel better if I'm riding regularly. That's not to say perhaps I could feel just the same with another day's rest. Each cycle or each week or whatever.
I found that resting a bit more sort of helped, I think.
You've got to trust. You have to trust that. And sometimes it's easy to trust, I'll go out and do another couple of hours, because that's the process, isn't it? You associate training or riding with a way to improve. Well, actually, you have to trust that rest is also a way to improve if you've done the work prior to that. And I think maybe we might need a bit more rest than we did 30 years ago.
Do you think then the main thing is your consistency in being able to do that volume each week, or do you do more? You presumably do more endurance and a few less intense sessions nowadays. What do you do?
Yeah, I do. I try. I know we're chatting about the ageing process and carrying on when you're advancing years. I try not to let that be a limiting factor in what I do. I try not to say, no, I can't do that. I shouldn't be doing that because I'm 66, 65.
So what, you still try to do similar to what you used to do, but maybe listen to your body a bit more?
Yeah, and I think that you're right. I think it's not a case of listening to your body. I think your body tells you whether you can demonstrate it to yourself. You can tell if your performance isn't as good as you think it should be, or you know that your condition says it is. You can get away with training in an unrecovered state short term. You can't get away with it long term.
No, yeah.
Because it'll catch up with you, and then you'll very quickly you'll start to detrain, go backwards. The common knowledge, or my interpretation of stuff, is that it's your top end that suffers with age. Your engine.
Well, yeah, you do see a lot of older riders who can still ride miles and get the miles in.
What's the old saying? The reason old cyclists don't ride fast anymore is because they don't ride fast anymore.
Yeah.
And I sign up to that, I think. And then I've always found fitness to be a great motivator. If I haven't got it, I want it. And if I've got it, I want to keep it.
Yeah, that's a good philosophy.
That can have a negative, because that can make you do too much.
Well, yeah. Or you think, because I've got this fitness, if I carry on and do more, I'm going to get fitter.
I'm going to get fitter, or I'm certainly not going to lose any, which isn't always the case. It's good for morale, fitness, and I think if you're in a training program, a training regime, or you're targeting something, knowing you're fit gets you out the door, gets you out the front door on some of the days when perhaps you don't want to go out the front door.
Yeah. So do you ever sort of have a rest period, as in like an off-season break, or do less, or because you often seem to do quite a lot of mileage each week?
Not so much, because without the discipline of a race program, which we touched on earlier, which is quite nice having that routine, there's less reason to back away. You've got to be tough, but you've got to be smart as well. Weeks off here and there, I think are good.
Well, sometimes you end up with forced weeks off anyway, don't you, through work or family commitments or stuff like that?
Yeah, you get those enforced ones, and the time you're away, strangely, an injury or an illness can provide that rest. So 10 days off with a cold in January can be quite frustrating, but actually it could be the key to you going well in April. If you're not quite as fit as you want to be, that can be quite motivational. If you want to be competitive, if you want to be as fit as you physically can be, or physically able to,
well, I guess
whatever, you have to put in the graft. But if you're not, those things don't, you just want to enjoy your riding.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm coming from someone who's firmly signed up to the former rather than the latter, because I would come straight back with the argument, yes, I want to enjoy my riding, but I enjoy it more if I'm fit. I think you need to up your volume in a measured way, and you have to have some quality in there.
Well, some food for thought.
We're all limited by our physiology and ultimately our genes. I think one of the gains you get from doing it and doing it regularly is the experience of that, and knowing that it hurts but it's not going to kill you, and knowing that you can push through, and knowing that you can dig in, and unfortunately knowing sometimes you ain't going to hang on.
I certainly know that.
I think, I didn't mention it there on camera, but I'm quite big on diet. I've always had a good diet, or I strive to have a good diet, and make sure I eat properly. I'd ride Saturday, Sunday, easy day Monday, turbo Tuesday, easy day Wednesday, long day Thursday, off Friday, chain gang Saturday, shorter ride Sunday. And then you fit some gym work in there. You need to go to the gym twice a week.
So I hope you got something from that. Some of the main takeaways I got, apart from the usual of consistency, following a training plan and staying disciplined in following it. One of the biggest things is, as you age, don't slow down. Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you shouldn't be riding hard and fast and doing hard efforts. So, as I said, hope you enjoyed it, hope you found some of that useful or interesting, and until next time, bye for now.